She messaged me precisely at 5 p.m., "Can't make it tonight." I knew her exact location when that text arrived, so my reply was straightforward, "Sure." That evening, I arranged for her preferred extravagantly pricey meal for two to be delivered directly to her former partner's residence. And I covered the cost using my own identity. Her name was Maya. We'd been a couple for just over 2 years, sharing my apartment for the majority of that period. From an outsider's perspective, we appeared as the ideal match. But internally, I constantly sensed I was under constant scrutiny. Maya harbored a peculiar fixation on her ex, Derek. He wasn't merely a past lover. He played a recurring role in the narrative of her existence, the one who slipped away, yet remained her closest confidant. I'm no fool. I voiced my discomfort right from the start, stating I couldn't tolerate it. We clashed fiercely. She wept, labeling me as insecure and domineering, and vowed solemnly that their bond was strictly non-romantic. She insisted I must place my faith in her. Like an unwitting sap, I acquiesced. But with one stipulation. I demanded total openness. No covert conversations, no fabricated coincidences. She consented. For some time, it functioned smoothly. He lingered as a faint specter. Yet in recent months, that specter materialized into something far more tangible. She'd gaze at her screen with a grin while texting, and upon inquiry, she'd respond too hastily, "Just my mom." She began canceling our arrangements abruptly due to sudden crises. A companion's vehicle malfunctioned. A colleague required assistance on a task. The alibis were sufficiently plausible to make me question my suspicions. The ultimate blow to my confidence struck about a month prior. We maintained a communal account for our mobile devices, established for the shared data package. While settling the invoice online, I spotted an option to adjust location permissions for linked gadgets. On impulse, I activated sharing for her device, convincing myself it was for safety purposes, though deep down I sought confirmation of deceit. I didn't wait long for evidence. The following week, she claimed a late-night yoga session. A check of the map revealed her at a bar across town. Next, she mentioned a ladies' gathering at her friend Sarah's. The marker indicated a spot 10 miles distant, in a residential complex where I recognized Derek's home. I remained mute. I observed, amassed information, and felt a frigid, unyielding tension building within. She wasn't merely deceiving. She executed it flawlessly. I served as the provider who funded her lifestyle and ensured stability while she revisited her past. The previous evening marked our anniversary, not our initial meeting, but the day we cohabited. I'd secured reservations well ahead at an upscale sushi venue, one requiring bookings far in advance. It was her top choice. She'd chatted excitedly about it throughout the week. At 5 p.m., as I prepared to depart my job, my phone alerted me. Her message read, "Hey, so sorry. My supervisor unexpectedly assigned a major deadline. I'll be tied up at the office all night. Can't join tonight. We'll commemorate this weekend, promise." I accessed the tracking app. The blue indicator for her position wasn't near her workplace. It hovered over Derek's apartment, stationary since her morning departure. The falsehood was so overt, so insulting, that fury eluded me. Instead, a deep, chilling insight emerged. This signified the conclusion. Yet it wouldn't involve shouting or chaos. It would be subtle, methodical, and indelible. I responded with a single word. "Sure." Returning to my vacant apartment, I reclined on the sofa, contemplating for an extended period. I reflected on the 2 years invested, the trust bestowed, the future envisioned. And I pondered the termination. I could have simply packed her belongings and positioned them at the entrance. But that fell short. She required exposure. She needed entrapment by her own decisions. Not through my intervention, but via her actions. I retrieved my phone and launched the delivery service application. I selected the sushi establishment, the intended destination. I requested their priciest omakase platter for two, including top-tier sake. The bill exceeded $300, an exorbitant sum. I entered Derek's address as the drop-off point. I recalled the precise building and unit from my discreet investigations. In the special instructions, I included a message. Please ensure the recipient is aware this is from Ben. It's for our anniversary. I listed my name, Ben, on the order and settled the payment with our shared credit card, aware she received alerts for it. I relaxed and anticipated. I envisioned the scenario. The doorbell chimes. She answers, anticipating Derek's meal. Instead, a courier presents an elaborate package of the city's finest sushi. Confusion sets in. Then, the courier announces the sender's name from the label. My name. The expression on her face, upon realizing my awareness of her whereabouts, that I'd funded her romantic celebration with her ex. That embodied the retribution. It wasn't boisterous. It was a serene, precisely targeted strike that would shatter her universe. Roughly 45 minutes elapsed before my phone erupted. Initially, a credit card alert verifying the transaction. Then, calls commenced. First, from her. I disregarded it. Next, from an unfamiliar number. Ignored again. A text followed. How could you? No response. Another. You're insane. Are you tracking me? Still silent. Finally, a frantic series. We must discuss. Please pick up. It's not as it seems. I muted the device. I anticipated her eventual return. The serene apartment, formerly emblematic of our shared life, now resembled a stronghold. My stronghold. And she was on the verge of discovering her exclusion. She arrived near 11 p.m. Via the doorbell monitor, I witnessed her fumbling with the key, her hands trembling. She must have sensed the inevitable. The entrance swung open and she stood before me on the couch. We need to talk, she declared. No, we don't, I replied evenly. I believe the sushi conveyed all necessary sentiments. You lacked authority, she shrieked. You humiliated me before Derek. He views you as a deranged, envious freak. Does he? I inquired. Or has he finally grasped that the woman he's intimate with maintains a resident partner who just treated them to dinner? I'm certain that sparked an intriguing dialogue between you. Her features collapsed. The outrage masked sheer terror. It was an error, she sobbed, tears emerging. I felt disoriented. Derek and I share a past. I intended to inform you. No, you didn't, I countered, rising. You plan to persist in deception, sustain your dual existence, and exploit my residence and finances as a buffer. That's ended. Your possessions await in the guest room. They're unpacked. I won't assist. You have until noon tomorrow to remove every belonging. If anything remains past 12:01, it heads to the landfill. She gaped, speechless. You can't evict me. I reside here. No, you don't, I stated. Your name isn't on the lease. You've been a visitor for 2 years, and your stay has exceeded its limit. The following morning unfolded as a strained, deplorable spectacle. Lacking alternatives, she contacted her parents. They arrived by 10 a.m., visibly displeased. Her father, a formidable figure who'd always treated me cordially, glared with utter contempt. Her mother launched an immediate tirade. I can't fathom treating our daughter thus, she exclaimed. After all she's contributed, transforming this barren space into a dwelling, I met her gaze. With respect, your daughter has deceived and betrayed me with her ex for months. I purchased their 300th anniversary feast at his place last night. You ought to prioritize her decisions over my response. That silenced them momentarily. Evidently, Maya's account omitted the full details, portraying me as the antagonist. They aided her packing amid hostile quiet. As they loaded the final box into their vehicle, her father approached. You'll rue this, son, he warned. She's the finest thing to cross your path. I merely shook my head. No, sir. Discarding her is... Once departed, my initial action involved auditing all accounts. I terminated the joint credit card. I revoked her access to my other cards. I updated passwords for every shared service. Then, I visited the bank, drained our communal savings, primarily my funds, and transferred it to a new personal account. The ensuing calm brought solace, yet I foresaw the impending turmoil. The upheaval manifested 2 days later, not from Maya, but Derek. He appeared uninvited at my apartment on a Sunday afternoon. I spied him via the camera before he rang. He radiated rage. I permitted him to simmer at the threshold before responding. "We must converse," he demanded, attempting entry. I barred the path. "No, we don't. You and I lack common ground," I asserted. "You've dismantled my existence, man," he fumed, voice quivering. "You deem that delivery amusing? Do you comprehend the fallout?" "I possess a clear notion of Maya's actions," I retorted, "and it appears you participated. That's not my concern." "Not your concern?" he sneered. "I have a committed partner, a live-in girlfriend of 3 years. Her name is Jessica. And behold, she occupied my apartment during your anniversary gesture. She witnessed the note. She observed it all." I'll concede I hadn't anticipated that. I'd assumed Derek was unattached, pursuing diversions. Learning of his own enduring relationship amplified Maya's treachery. "So, you're mutual adulterers?" I remarked. "That seems your dilemma." "This stems from you," he persisted, escalating. "Maya informed me you were essentially finished, mere cohabitants, and she was departing. She depicted you as oppressive. Absent your delivery, I might have managed, but you publicized it. Jessica abandoned me. She confiscated everything. Thus, this becomes your issue presently," he advanced. "You'll rectify this. Contact Jessica and clarify you're the unstable ex." I chuckled. The presumption was astounding. "Clarify. You and my ex deceived both me and your partner." I unveiled it. "Now you desire I fabricate for your ex to conceal your misdeeds? Depart my premises." I began closing the door, but he halted it. "You'll lament this," he threatened. Without a word, I extracted my phone, ensuring he noted the recording. His grip faltered, the bravado evaporated. He lingered briefly, deflated, then departed angrily. Maya's subsequent offensive targeted finances. Days later, a fraud notice arrived from my bank. It pertained to a neglected card, an old retail account we'd established for furniture. I held primary status, but she possessed a secondary card. She'd attempted purchasing 2,000 in online gift cards. The system detected irregularity and rejected it. I dedicated an hour to the fraud division, detailing the situation, closing the account, and submitting a complaint. It merely augmented my dossier against her, then unfolded the defamation effort, as foreseen, yet with a novel dimension. It wasn't solely me cast as the obsessive ex. Derek, striving to reclaim his partner, had allied with Maya. Their narrative branded me a violent pursuer who'd tormented them for months, with the sushi as the pinnacle of erratic behavior. It might have succeeded sans an unforeseen email a week hence. The originator was Jessica, Derek's former girlfriend. She obtained my address via shared contact aware of the gossip, believing I deserved truth. She proposed a meeting. We convened for coffee the following day. She proved astute, pragmatic, evidently wounded but resilient. She bore a tale and proof. She displayed Derek's messages spanning months, lamenting Maya as a clingy lunatic, yet unable to sever ties. Additional texts from Maya to Derek detailed her scheme for a substantial payout upon departure, awaiting opportune timing. Everything lay in digital print, a premeditated, deliberate strategy to exploit me, deplete my resources, then proceed. Jessica had conducted her own inquiries post-departure, unearthing the entire corrupt plot. "He's a spineless deceiver," she stated firmly. "But she represents something worse. She's the exploiter. I refuse her impunity. If required, I'll provide a sworn statement. I'll testify in proceedings. I desire accountability for her harm to us both." Equipped with this reinforcement, I braced for Maya's culminating maneuver. It arrived as a missive from counsel. Laden with unfounded allegations, it sought monetary aid, alleging psychological harm, and threatened litigation for a share of my holdings. My attorney's reply was prompt and severe. It dismantled her assertions, noting her absence from the lease and appended enclosures. Attachment A, transcription of Derek's doorstep intimidation recording. Attachment B, bank's fraud report on her card misuse. Attachment C, Jessica's notarized deposition, inclusive of Maya's incriminating messages outlining extortion plans. It concluded that non-retraction of claims and cessation of communication would prompt a comprehensive suit for harassment, slander, and fraud conspiracy, pursuing complete legal expenses. No further correspondence from her representative ensued. Half a year has elapsed. Silence from Maya and kin prevails. Word of mouth indicates her parents compel repayment of every dollar from our shared funds. Derek's reality is in disarray. Jessica, steadfast, rejected reconciliation. Their liaison's revelation ostracized him socially. Rumor suggests Maya inhabits a cramped dwelling in the city's roughest district, employed in temporary work amid mounting debts. She forfeited not just a partner, she surrendered the privileged existence she presumed eternal, and she stood revealed as the manipulator and imposter she genuinely was.